to use your logic, Black American culture, what is it, y'all? Entirely stolen from white people. Like I said in another video, Cuban culture is more closely tied to, related to, similar to African culture and Africa than Black American culture is. You guys are far removed from Africa. Your entire culture is white people culture that you've adopted and made your own, because that's how culture works.
Well, Miami Cubans have done it again. You know, these people don't care, man. They'll go out of their way to be accepted by the W man and the W class. They are, listen, black people down there have been given reports of those people being so racist. And y'all know that y'all know my family background. I could tell you firsthand that they are super racist, right? They don't like black people. And the thing is, they might be worse than the W man because they're trying their best to be associated with them. So they go out of their way, man, to prove themselves. Like, they go real, like, super hard in the paint. And, you know, so now there's an issue down there where when Charlie Kirk was unalive, they created like a post on there, the conservative sector, the Republican conservative sector. They created this post, and on this post now, they saying a whole bunch of bad stuff about black people, right? They're talking about black people, they're talking about everybody. And I mean, it's horrible.
So this is exactly what I mean when I say that black people live rent-free in people's brains, because this is insane. So the Secretary of Miami-Dade County's GOP started a group chat for conservative students. Within just 3 weeks, it was filled with the N-word, Nazi rhetoric, and dozen ways of how to violently kill people who look like me. Crazy enough, the secretary started this, and his name is Abel Alexander Carvajal, and he's a second-year law student at Florida International University. He started this after Charlie Kirk's death, and which black people had nothing to do with, by the way, but he started it, and black people starting to get a bunch of hate in these group chats. And not just that, other people who were involved were Ian Valdez, for example. He's the president of FIU's chapter of Turning Point USA. He was also saying a bunch of disgusting and disturbing things. And this is what I mean when I say that we live rent free. We can literally not be involved with something and somehow we're inserted. And not just that, this just further proves my point that just because people are people of color, it does not mean that they are aligned with us or relate to us, because these people are on the opposite side. They are more aligned with whiteness and white supremacy than they are with trying to come together. And these are brown people. These were mostly brown people talking about people who look like me, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, that's what happened. We live rent free.
I want to ask a question to all of the Cubans in Miami. Most of y'all look like me, if not lighter, with green eyes or blue eyes. With that being said, when I visited Havana, something that I noticed was that most people living in Havana are unambiguously black, darker than me, and I mean unambiguously black. So when y'all are advocating for the free use of the N-word, are y'all also advocating for sanctions to be lifted on the people who are actively living in Cuba now? Or are y'all only using the privilege that you genuinely have to advocate for the free use of the N-word? Like I said, I've seen you guys drop a ton of excuses, but I really want to know, what are you actively doing with your American privilege and your white privilege for the people in Cuba, besides perpetuating anti-blackness and then falling victim and claiming victimhood for the justification to use an awful word?
I don't know why y'all keep going out of y'all way to think that these people are going to align with you or be your friends. The Democrats is finding out the hard way. They found it out in Texas with Jasmine Crockett. They already do this down in Florida and in California. These people, when she talk about advocating for the blacks in Havana, why would they advocate for the blacks in Havana? She's Cuban, but don't even know the history. First of all, Havana's revolutionary times of Cuba was Antonio Maceo, a black man who was fighting to liberate Cuba from the Spanish and was ultimately unalived in 1896. His mother is the mother of Cuba. These are black people, right? Those people in Miami are the people that wish Batista was still there, right? People gotta understand the history. So they brought that same anti-black racism from Cuba to America, right? And now they're going after foundational black Americans, man. So somebody wrote, another member of the chat, William Bergano, who tried to start a pro-life group at Miami-Dade College, was the primary user of the N-word in the group. At one point, he posted a block of text calling for dozens of acts of extreme violence against black people, who he referred to using the N-word, including crucifying, beheading, and dissecting people. Bergano hung up the phone when reached by the Miami Herald, right? So people on his bumper, right? Then this woman, Bombshell Cole, she wrote, "These are law students, by the way. The future lawyers, prosecutors, judges, and policymakers. When we talk about systematic racism, this is what we mean. It is embedded in the institutions themselves. And it's hard to believe people who openly think this way will suddenly become fair advocates for black clients once they enter the legal system." Well, those are my hardcore followers. I've been telling y'all that for years. You go in front of a judge. How do you ever know if he's calling you an N-word up under his breath? You would never know that. But you're not a protected class. You have nothing really on the books to protect you. All the things is for all people, not for the specific people that was getting their heads kicked in, right? And this is what we're talking about when we're talking about foundational black Americans. Now let's look at what the news reported on this.
Miami-Dade Republicans are calling for one of their own to resign, and police are now investigating.
NBC6 political reporter Steve Litz has the details from FIU.
A chat on WhatsApp is rocking the Republican Party of Miami-Dade County and Florida International University, and it's leading to calls for Abel Carvajal, Dade's GOP party secretary, to step down from his post, including from state Republicans like Miami-Dade State Representative Juan Porras.
Better education needs to be done for our youth. I think they're being misled by some very harmful individuals that are being paid to spew this propaganda by outside sources.
NBC has not independently verified the chat. The Floridian, an online publication, was first to report on it, posting screenshots that show racist, anti-Semitic, and violent comments. Even more concerning, according to the article, is who's on the chat. Miami-Dade GOP Party Secretary Abel Carvajal and students with connections to the FIU College Republicans and Turning Point USA chapter. Carvajal has not responded to our calls or text messages, but he told the Miami Herald he started the chat after Charlie Kirk was killed, adding he had not seen much of the content and was shocked by some of the messages in the chat, which the Herald says verified with 2 people in the group. Democrats are also responding.
This is just another symptom of the same problem we've been seeing over and over and over again from the MAGA base, and they're not even keeping it quiet anymore. They're explicitly saying the quiet part out loud.
FIU's president confirms a criminal investigation is underway, writing in a statement, "We take these allegations very seriously. The alleged conduct continues to be investigated by the FIU Police Department in coordination with local, state, and federal law enforcement." We did contact Turning Point USA, and we have not heard back from them. And in a statement from the FIU College Republicans, they denounced the chat, writing this: "These actions are not representative of our organization and have no place in our community," adding this was not a college Republican chat. Live outside FIU in Southwest Miami-Dade, I'm Steve Litz, NBC6 News.
These people are extremely racist, man. And black people down there got to be real careful. Now, y'all remember when James Fishback came on there and disrespected Byron Donalds, right? And Byron Donalds is a sellout. He's not for our people. He over there sniffing the W cooch, right? And these people down there are turning on him. He's getting what his hand called for. He's getting what he asked for. Y'all remember leading Republican gubernatorial candidate Byron Donalds, who was black, denounced what he called the woke right during a speech in Miami last fall, a phenomenon he said has risen in the wake of the killing, unaliving of Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk. Donald seems to be using the term as a stand-in for the far right, describing it as those that oppose all immigration and espouse soft bigotry. He said soft bigotry. Like, these dudes is crazy, man. His opponent, James Fishback, a relative political unknown who has used racist and white nationalist rhetoric throughout his campaign, is highlighting the generational divide around extremism on the right in Florida. One university in North Florida poll found that while only 6% of likely GOP primary voters support Fishback, he had the support of 32% of 18 to 34-year-olds, 4 times what Donald what Byron Donalds got amongst that age group, because the young people are racist and they're listening to this rhetoric.
Byron Donalds is a tether. He is not an American descendant.
Wait a minute, James. How do you know the term tether?
He is a tether. He is not an American descendant of slaves. So when Byron Donalds cries like he has over the last couple of weeks because I call him a slave to AIPAC, a slave to corporate interest, a slave to the pro-immigration lobby that has hurt every race of Americans, but has also hurt Black Americans who disproportionately work in food, hospitality, leisure, and customer service. He is in no position, has no right to be complaining about me calling him a slave when he has absolutely no direct descendant of slavery in his family.
And see, I'm no fan of Byron Donalds, but let me tell you something about W supremacy. This man feels comfortable speaking this way because he knows that a lot of Black people are dumb. He knows that, unfortunately, a lot of our people are stupid. This woman sitting up there sounding like a slave, sounding like a real dummy, right? Up there, what, James? What do you know about FBA, James? First of all, he on there calling a Black man a slave, right? He's using talking points because he knows that if he talks this way and mention FBA, a lot of you dumb Black people will jump on his bumper and agree with him. Oh, he's acknowledging me, because your self-esteem is so low. You just want acknowledgement. You want a pat on the back. You want them to acknowledge you. He knows this. Let's go out there and acknowledge them raccoons. Let's go out there and acknowledge them suckers, man. Not, excuse me, like what they call shines and porch monkeys and all that kind of stuff. Let's go out there and give them some acknowledgement and watch what they do. He can't move me with that. He would never come in. I don't care about Byron Donalds. I'm not a fan of Byron Donalds, but you wouldn't come in my presence and call anybody Black a slave. You wouldn't come in my presence and even mention FBA and use FBA or our talking points to talk down on another Black person. No, bro. No, I'm not falling for that. What, you think I'm stupid? No, he do. That's why he's able to infiltrate and get away with that. Because you are thirsting for the W man to give you some form of adoration, to give you some form of approval, to give you some form of attention. She on there, oh no, James, I check her panties. She was just soaking wet because he gave her some approval. She started calling, I'm sure she called them Zaddy. No, man, y'all just fall, a lot of y'all fall for anything, man. I mean, well, you do have some Latinos down there calling this stuff out and they're saying this.
So a group of incels, losers, bigots over at the Miami-Dade Republican Party has just been exposed for having a group chat pushing anti-Semitism, saying things like that right there, bunch of racial slurs, just everything you can possibly imagine, right? Not only that, but the secretary of the Miami-Dade Republican Party, so a high-ranking party member, Abel Alexander Carvajal, ran a group chat in which the N-word was used over 200 times, and members celebrated the removal of an African-American activist from the FIU College Republicans. The name of the chat is there, and even more concerning are the chat's members. Listen to this, right? We already talked about the secretary of the Miami-Dade Republican Party, right? Then we have Dariel Gonzalez, who is the FIU College Republicans membership director. And finally, Ian Valdez, the FIU Turning Point chapter president. Charlie Kirk's legacy, right? Now, the chat goes beyond racist language. Sources have confirmed that Carvajal has recruited members of this racist and anti-Semitic element into the Miami-Dade GOP to serve as committee men and committee women. Guys, these are the people that later on, here in Dade County, go on to be mayors of certain cities within the county, city commissioners, county commissioners, influential people that make decisions over our lives here in Miami-Dade County. These are the people that do that. One portion of the chat references a Black student named Sandra, whose real name has been changed to protect her identity. She left the FIU College Republicans after being subjected to racial slurs. What happened to her? Asked one participant. William called her an N-word with the hard R, so she left, responds Dariel Gonzalez. And what they say in that chat gets worse, especially towards Black people, bro. The disgusting things they say, the gravity of that. Being one of the main parties, one of the main political parties in a county with hundreds of thousands of Black people is insane. I really urge you guys to go read this. I'm not going to go put it here in the video, but please do it. It's crazy. In early October, Ian Valdez, the legacy of Charlie Kirk, renamed the chat Gooning in Argatha. Argatha is a mythical civilization that Nazi general Heinrich Himmler and other Nazis believed was the hidden homeland of an Aryan race. The more you read this story, the worse and worse it gets. And once again, remember, these Republicans, these Latino, MAGA, extremist, neo-Nazi, white supremacist people are the ones that end up running for office here in Miami-Dade County. And not only running for office, but winning and becoming leaders in the community. And of course, all of them are Latinos. Not white people, Latinos with very Latino names. Incredible that they think that white supremacists would be, embracing of their presence in this country whatsoever.
Let me say this. You don't have friends, and stop looking for W approval. They're not your friends. I don't care if they come out here and use FBA talking points. I don't care. Do not ever sit in the presence of a W and let them call anybody black a slave. Ever. Ever. Even our sellouts. No. Sometimes just stay out of it. Don't even get in it. But don't have nobody sit in your presence. Don't have nobody up on your stream using black talking points to talk down on another black person. He's playing you because he know that you a sucker. And he playing you for a sucker. Right? That's why they call you low IQ. Because you're exhibiting the behavior of a damn low IQ person when you allow that stuff to happen. As far as those Latinos, listen, they getting their numbers up. And they getting more bold. And it's going to happen. It's in California. It's in Texas. It's in Florida. It's going to be in places like Philly and New York. All places where you have large percentages of Latinos. We get along super great with Puerto Ricans here in Philadelphia right now. Right? But the Puerto Rican population is about 250,000. Right? 250,000. Right? As they get their numbers up, will our relationships be the same? Because they can come in our communities. They get nothing but love. Right? But we're going to be the same when we go in their communities. I don't know. Time will tell. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think. If you made it this far in the video, hit the like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.